Wystawa, którą gościmy w tym roku w Muzeum Maka, jest wystawą Japonki, Lieko Shigi. Również jest nam niezmiernie miło, że dzisiaj będziemy mogli wysłuchać komentarza do tej właśnie wystawy kuratora, który na tę okazję przyleciał specjalnie do nas z Francji.
This show is about by a young Japanese artist, Lieko Shiga, who is living in northern Japan and is doing a highly unusual work in reference to Japanese photography.
Lieko Shigi nie ma dzisiaj tutaj z nami, pracuje nad nowym projektem i jest zupełnie nieosiągalna, natomiast jest z nami Ferdinand Bruggemann. Ferdinand jest myślę jednym z najlepszych, jeśli nie najlepszym specjalistą fotografii japońskiej w Europie, pracuje w galerii Bliska Pasquery, mówi po japońsku, od lat pracuje z japońskimi fotografami. Dzisiaj zamiast wernisażu Ferdinand zrobi takie kuratorskie oprowadzanie.
Her work is different because she's creating something with her work, creating a new reality out of dreams of other people, out of fantasies of other people, combined with local myth in Japan or even in Australia.
It's not Photoshop, it's really working with the material.
This image there with the huge element inside, in the center of the image, is actually the cover photo of her book Kanarek. And as I said, she won the highest photography award in Japan, and this was for her photo books. The huge difference between the career of a Western photography and a photographer and a Japanese photographer is that in Japan you don't make your career through exhibitions. Like here, you start in a small gallery, maybe move to a bigger gallery, then have exhibitions at art associations, maybe move on to museums, and then later, if it's going well, you are in the big museum and you become famous and get catalogs and so on. In Japan is, before you maybe ever did one show, you make a book. And with these books, the work by the artist is communicated. So she did in 2007 actually 2 books, always with 2 different publishers, and this made her known in Japan. And this is a cover picture done in Australia. And here you see she's working. The work is called My Husband. And if you look closer, you see the naked woman next to the, how do you call it in English? Skull, yes. To the skull. And the husband of this woman collects anthropological objects, found objects, skulls, and she herself as well. With cotton flowers she produced by herself and then lightened it up and re-photographing it. So this tree is kind of re-awoken for this photograph by the artist. That is how she's working to take in the myths, the stories, the personal recollection. Albeit she said actually the images are already inside her. She sees herself more like a medium, like that. That's why she's calling the book Kanarek. The canary is a small bird, and she says the canary is already living inside her. It's just the story is coming out of her body, out of her work. And so this is something which is very different what we usually see in Japan, where we have more that people talk about what you see, about the reality or how the reality is perceived by the people in Japan, and not how that she creates reality. But she goes way back, very deep with her work into the old stories, into old Japan, so she connects in modern and contemporary. And I think it's a work which is very deep, which is not so easy to enter in the beginning, but after time you kind of realize that there's a depth about emotion, sexuality, sometimes a little bit nightmarish as well. So I think it's a very, very interesting, unique position she has in photography with her work.